No, so the question was, hey, the Department of Labor put out a notice yesterday for folks that if you get called back into work and you refuse to go, you will lose your unemployment benefits. That's absolutely true. What I said yesterday was, if you're one of those vulnerable populations, say you've got an underlying health care condition, older or whatever it is, you should work with your employer so they do not call you back to work. So this is, again, a case where you need to work with your employer to communicate to them. Again, one of the things I've always talked about is do a lot of communication. So communicate with your employer that, hey, you're in one of these, they may not know, for example, that you've got an underlying health care condition. There's not necessarily a reason for them to have known that. But if you communicate and say, hey, I got diabetes, or I've got this respiratory illness, I'm one of the vulnerable population. Work with your employer so that the employer does not call you back to work, and then you'll continue to receive those benefits. But if you have no other reason otherwise to not go back into work and you refuse to go, then you will lose your unemployment benefits.
So it's up to your employer.
So you have to work with your employer on that. So, right, so you need to work with your employer, and of course there's always appeals process and all these sort of things, Martha, as well. But I think the best thing to do is just open up that lines of communication. Again, we're asking all Nebraskans through this pandemic to do the right thing, to work together with each other, and by and large, Nebraskans are doing that. John.